thought I'd share this channel with you, just in case you were unaware of it. The link will be in the description box. Matter of fact, let me grab it now. Okay.
The health of the population today is concerning. I want to focus on physical health, but I cannot leave out the mental, emotional, and spiritual health of an individual because they are all connected. They're all connected. And so, since they are all connected, they rely on each other for healing. Someone going through a divorce is going to have to rely on their mental, their physical, and spiritual health to heal themselves emotionally. Someone who has a mental breakdown is probably also emotionally broken, and they are going to have to rely on their body and spirit to get them through. Someone recovering from a severe injury from a car accident is going to need to rely on their mental, emotional, and spiritual health to heal. When it comes to the body, the flesh, we have a very good understanding of how to heal the body using equipment, devices, medicines, alternative medicines. More often than not, healing the body with the mind is overlooked. Now, all of this is a matter of time. It takes time to heal anything. However, the longer it takes for you to recover, that is a sign of bad health in general. Let me tell you, a lot of issues people are having, mental issues, emotional issues, are a result of bad physical health. It is causing a lot more issues than people are aware of. The point of all this is there exists a cure for virtually all diseases. And I know what some people are thinking. No, there's not. There's no cure for blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah? We'll see about that. So, having a cure for something and knowing of a cure are two different things. What about spiritual health? Is that real? You've seen it on TV, restoring the sight to the blind, curing paralysis and things like that. In what capacity is that real? Why aren't people lining up at the church instead of lining up at their local pharmacy? Think about what Jesus was able to do. Now, how does a person who is tortured, put through excruciating pain and left to die, how was that same person able to walk on water and instantly heal people? He raised someone from the dead. His body was flesh and blood like ours. So what was going on there? What was his secret? How was he able to unlock those dormant powers that I believe we all have to a certain extent? Of course, because of who he inherently was, he naturally had a much better and much broader understanding of how the human body works, if he was, in heavenly form, a co-designer of the human body, if that makes sense. The science of healing thoughts. Journalist Joe Marchant explores surprising new research into curing the body with the mind. Examples include trials demonstrating that hypnotherapy is a highly effective treatment for patients with irritable bowel syndrome. and studies showing that perceived stress correlates with telomere length in cells. But what I personally found most convincing were studies suggesting an evolutionary rationale for the
telomeres that there are at the end of your DNA strand, and they start dying off from the moment you're born. The longer you can keep those cells active, the longer you will live. But the way this world is going, I'm just waiting.
mind's influence on health. As neuroscientist Fabrizio Benedetti, one of the pioneers of placebo research, puts it, there isn't just one placebo effect, but many. Placebo painkillers can trigger the release of natural pain-relieving chemicals called endorphins. Patients with Parkinson's disease respond to placebos with a flood of dopamine. Fake oxygen given to someone at altitude has been shown to cut levels of neurotransmitters called prostaglandins, which dilate blood vessels, among other things, and are responsible for many of the symptoms of altitude sickness. This is what you call mind over matter. There are several things you can do right now to practice and to improve your ability to heal as well as reverse aging. The placebo effect works quite well. If you are given a sugar pill for a headache and that causes you to feel better because you think it's an aspirin, this has been proven to work on a psychological and physiological level. It can actually heal the body. So if the mind can do that, what can it do when we have mastered control of it? Meditation has profound effects on the mental and physical health of anyone who applies it. This has a lot to do with stress. How many of you have gone to bed with things on your mind? Your mind won't let your body sleep, will it? Meditation before you sleep and when you wake up will completely set you up for a different type of day. After a few nights of this, about 3 nights of that energy work, can relieve many long-term chronic stresses. Meditation is not about emptying your mind, but focusing it on one thing. You meditate on something. I'm sure everyone here has heard the phrase, laughter is the best medicine. How many of you would agree? What is laughter? Why do we do that? Our diaphragm just starts freaking out. It is quite a pleasurable feeling. It can feel too good at those rare times when you are about to die laughing at something and you can't stop. You're having a diaphragm attack. I'm sure some people feel a bit better just at me mentioning the word laughter. Some people know this, but not everyone knows that laughter alkalizes the body. In other words, it reduces the body's acidity. And cancer cannot live in an alkaline environment. Any of you know a real-life hypochondriac? Not very optimistic, are they? Always sick, always afraid to catch something. If you walk around saying you virtually never get sick, like I do, you may find yourself arriving at a time when that becomes the truth. You are what you think about most of the time. This has a direct effect on the immune system that actually suppresses your immune system. But that really comes from a lack of understanding and fear. Optimism is the key here. How many of you out there pray before bed? How many of you think about what you are grateful for before you go to bed? Get a journal, a composition book, and before bed each night, you write down the things you were thankful for the day, and you go to sleep. The next day, the universe brings you more things to be grateful for. This exercise works wonders for your attitude. It will alleviate a ton of stress. And the result breeds confidence, which breeds more success, which will bring you more things to be grateful for. White paper, blue ink, your hand makes many, many micro movements when you write. Not type, but write. No using your tablet or cell phone, write it out. There is energy behind that. Good energy that you will be sleeping next to. A lot of people have lost their aim in life. They have no real achievable goals and dreams. They can't find a reason to get out of bed in the morning. This causes people to be still. And when you are still, you age quite rapidly. Moving around is what keeps you young and slows down time for you. That is why a lot of people who live the longest were always active. They were always optimistic. They took things lightly. They were walkers and full of energy. Let's just say these people have a lot of spirit. Not everyone can find purpose within themselves. That's because it's a selfish act. Your purpose should be for someone else. Those of you who have children may understand this. Those of you who put your lives on the line for others may understand this. Those of you who give of themselves, who make sacrifices for others, may understand this. Now there's a very strong and powerful tool we have that we can use to actually physically shape our bodies, and that is the imagination. Here's a very cool article published on mindcoolness.com. And this is true. Kinesthetic imagery can make you physically stronger. Do you guys feel a personal home experiment coming on? That's the key concept here, the conscious mental rehearsal of movement. If used as a regular practice, mental imagery can improve your physical strength even without performing any actual movement. You can literally sit at home on your couch and grow stronger by merely thinking about lifting weights. Most studies on motor imagery follow an experimental design like this. The subjects are healthy college students, randomly grouped into a motor imagery group, those who think about performing a movement, a physical exercise group, those who actually perform the movement, and a control group, those who don't do anything. Subjects practice regularly for several weeks. Physical strength is systematically measured either as muscle contraction or as force exerted on a machine. Further findings. The more vividly subjects imagine contracting their muscles, the more strength they gained. The more effortful the movement, the stronger the results. Kinesthetic imagery produced significant effects, but not external, visual imagery. Only subjects who mentally simulated the feeling of performing the movement from inside their bodies increased their strength, while those who visualized themselves moving from a third-person perspective did not. So there is definitely something here worth looking further into. See, folks, you don't have to go to the pharmacy or the doctor to get any of this stuff. We have known about these things for centuries, yet we are still relying on companies to make us something. Unfortunately, mental illness is spreading. You know, there are things that are in people's bodies that affects their thinking. Creatures, parasites, causing all types of issues, and people don't even know what's going on. There are healing verses in the scriptures, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. Faith healers, hands-on healing. Is there a placebo effect involved in any of this? Is it a power that can be bestowed on us if we simply ask? I wanted to discuss this briefly to get back into some more health-related topics as we move further into the month, hopefully preparing some of you for the incoming fall season. There is more to come. Stay tuned. Make sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. Love you all. God bless. And as always, stay awake, stay aware, stay safe. And I'll talk to you all soon.